It's that time. Pull the tanks off the Electra glide so that I can get my mitts into the rocker boxes and pull valve stems out and pull breathers out and all the other good stuff. Key to this job is having the right equipment, having the right tools, and some patience. Taken care of. I don't see a problem. I forgot to mention some good music is critical as well. But first and foremost, you got to relax your mind because this can easily get you frustrated. And that's why I medicate my mind. So, besides the old Forester, which is fantastic, every single one of them, in my opinion, is great. All the way down to the 86, the regular 86 proof, up to what I'm having tonight is 1920, which comes in at about, I think it's 115 proof, something like that. It doesn't drink like it's 115 proof. It's actually pretty damn smooth. And it, like I said, it medicates my mind, which brings me to another thing I want to say. I got a mix of Southern rock playing. Got some Allman Brothers going right now. And I just want to give a shout out to a band that I am extremely fond of lately, the Blackberry Smoke. That's the shirt I actually have on right now. I went and saw these guys all the way in Europe, in Wiesbaden in Germany, and they put on such a phenomenal show. I've seen them. I don't know, 3-4 times now. The shows are fantastic. Just want to throw that plug in there. Go see Blackberry Smoke. Seats off. Now I can kind of do the preliminary stuff. Going to pull the battery out. From there, I got to pull the dash off of the tank. And that's not too hard. You just got a fastener there. I think there's maybe a couple fasteners in there if I remember right. This is a one-piece tank, so one bolt here, one bolt in the front. But of course, you got to drain it. That's the bad thing. You got to drain it. And this is full. My mistake. So just going to time lapse this, and hopefully my time lapse doesn't take an hour. Okay, guys, I already have the tank off because for my sake, it's just easier to not have my camera in the way, trying to get the right angle on it, and I'll probably be blocking most of it. But when the tank is up on the frame still, you're going to cut this. This is your crossover tube. This basically equals out your left and your right side. And you're going to cut this clamp off. It's a single-use clamp if it's the original from Harley Davidson. So just cut it and take it off. As you can see here, this is what they look like. They're crimped on. Now, when you do that, have a long, clear, it doesn't need to be clear, have a long hose that fits this this nipple here on the bottom of the tank, because what you're going to do is once you cut this clamp off, take a pair of pliers and twist this hose, because this is going to basically be, in a way, stuck on, because it just sticks with time. So once you got it broken loose to where you can spin it like I'm doing right now, then you're going to have everything ready. Have an empty 5-gallon can here, probably with a funnel going into it. When you pull this hose off, you're going to want to hurry up and stick your other hose onto this nipple, because this is just going to start pissing. It's going to be pissing fuel out, and you want the other end of your hose to already be in your gas can. So that's the way I do it. I pull this off and I hold my thumb on the end of it, and I hurry up and I attach the other hose onto here that's already running into an empty gas can. Once this side runs out, and it kind of feeds, the tanks are still going to feed a little bit side to side, but then when this side's done, then you take your thumb off of this side and you basically aim it at the funnel going into the gas can, and you'll minimize your spilling. You're gonna probably, I don't know anybody who can do this without spilling some gas, so just be ready for that. But that's it. So I got the tank off now. You had this bolt here on either side, and you had one bolt at the back of the tank that goes right into in between the frame. And then you also got your fuel feed that'll go into your carburetor. It's right here on the newer ones, on a fuel injected model. And the way that comes off is it's just a quick disconnect is what it's called. I cover this up so that I don't get anything funky inside that, just like that. But really how that comes off is, this is a collar that you're going to push up. I don't know if you're seeing that. This collar, when it's connected, this collar slips back down and locks in place. To take it apart, you push this collar up. Well, actually, there it goes. It just snapped back down. You're going to push this collar up, and it'll release that quick disconnect. Okay, now that the tank is off, a couple things on the left side here that we're gonna be addressing in order to do our cam chain tensioners. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? Cam chain's all on the right side of the engine. Well, the wise thing, of course, or the easy way to do it is, there comes a time when you got to rotate your engine around to seat your oil pump on the shaft properly. So in order to do that, you're going to have the bike jacked up in the air, so the back wheel's off the ground. You're going to put it in 5th gear, since it's a twin cam 88. They're all 5 speeds. So you're going to put it up in the air so the back wheel's off the ground, and you're going to be rotating it with the transmission in 5th gear to turn the motor over. And the easy way to do that is, you're going to want to definitely have your spark plugs out so you're not fighting compression. So pull your wires off, get your plugs loose. You don't necessarily need to take them all the way out right now, but get them loose. Pull them out now if you want to look at them, see if you're going to need some new plugs by the end of the job. These ones happen to be 11/16, and let's look at one of them on this bike. Probably original plugs. Well, they don't look disastrous. I will probably get new plugs. Make sure the gap's right. Gap on these is, I think, somewhere, give or take, a little bit, usually about 40 thousandths, I think, is what the gap is on these. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Around 40 thousandths, I think. I've done so many of these lately, it's what I remember. The other thing we're going to do on the left side here is we're going to, the coil is going to have to get out of the way in order to get this rocker box open. So we're going to just pull these bolts back out. This is basically sitting over some threaded mounting area for the tank. So just pull it out of the way, and that's going to come off just like that. Get the other side off and swing it out of the way. You don't need to really disconnect everything on that. Just get it out of the way. There, it's all loose. I like to leave my hardware where I took it out of. See what I'm doing there? Put the hardware back in there. So then, all right, get this out of the way. This is fine. All you need is access to your bolts. And over here, you're probably gonna get this wire a little bit out of the way. Pull that off, just run it down along the side there. And that's it for the left side. Don't forget to pull your plugs out all the way whenever you're trying to rotate your engine over. Otherwise, you're fighting the compression. Okay, over on the right side of the engine, the tear down we need to do for the in order to do all this cam chain is we're going to pull the air cleaner off as well. Now, the reason being is because it's just easier access to get to the push rods, because you're kind of messing with all the push rods, the covers and whatnot. So even though you're pulling the push rods out the top, you're still disassembling the push rod covers, getting into the tappet blocks and stuff. And all this is really it's just going to be in the way. Just take it off. It's nothing in the entire job to just take this off, you know, for ease of the rest of your maintenance. Guys, I just pulled that air filter off, and this gives me a clear indication of the owners of this motorcycle prior to me. Bike's got 20,000 miles on it. It's a 2003, obviously. It has the original air cleaner on it. Put on in January, it was made in January of 2003. That is flippin' incredible. I'm so happy right now. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break and have a drink. So guys, you pull your cover up, you pull your, there's a bracket on here that your cover bolts to with that center bolt. Then you got 3 bolts that are holding the bracket and the air cleaner to the back plate. So you take those out, take the air cleaner out, and then you're gonna have these bolts are going into the head. These are your breather bolts. They're hollow, and they breathe through these little S tubes, and they go into the back of the air filter, which ends up getting sucked right back into your carburetor or your fuel injection. So you pull these out, keep them together, try to keep them oriented so you know which one was the front, which one was the back. Pull your backing plate off. It should come right off of your carburetor or throttle body. And then that's basically all you need to tear down off the carburetor. Man, this is filthy. So you heard me mention that I pulled the air filter off, and it's the original air filter. So I'm more confident and sure of myself for doing everything I'm going to do with this motorcycle, because this bike has been, in my opinion, probably neglected. if the owner can't even change an air filter in 20 years, he doesn't. Quite honestly, it's a shame he owned this motorcycle, because this could be a very nice collector's bike, and I see it that way, and I'm going to hopefully restore it to a very excellent mechanical condition. So it's getting late, we're losing light, and I can pick this up tomorrow. I've got to get my 5-year-old to bed, and so we'll pick this up tomorrow. From here on out, a couple O-rings there I forgot to mention. From here on out, I'm going to basically be, I'm going to pull the rocker boxes, the tops off, and start unloading the spring tension on the push rods. And I'll explain how you do that. But we're going to call it a night for now, and pick up again tomorrow. I'm not really surprised, I guess, unfortunately, but at the same time, it's still very much, I think disgust is the word I want to say. It really disgusts me that guys that own these bikes don't even know how to change the air filter. And for over 20 years, it didn't get changed. It was running the same air filter on that bike. Yeah, that's just, I can go on and on and on about that, just because I'm the way I am, I guess. I'm a little OCD, say the least. Anyways, I made progress tonight. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna just do small segments of videos, because I don't want to have like days of videos trying to, you know, edit and connect everything together, because it could run actually more than days, and to me it's just much simpler to edit, you know, one day's worth of videos and get it out there, because you guys might be trying to do some work on your bikes. So I like to do it that way, and just right now I need to relax, because you don't want to work in the garage angry, and I know I've been a mechanic long enough. I know if I get upset about something, I'll just put all my tools away and come in the house and have a little drink. Tonight's flavor, as I showed you earlier, Old Forester 1920. I was talking about the proof of this. This is good stuff. Yeah, 115 proof. I like everything Old Forester. Anyways, guys, let me just wrap it up with that. Tomorrow, I'm gonna open up my rocker boxes, unload the springs and the push rods so that I can pull the push rods out, and we'll pick up at that point. That's a good stopping point, because really from this point on, you start getting a little deeper into, you know, opening up the engine. So it gives me a chance to kind of clean up the garage and get maybe a parts table set up, so I can start putting all my parts down as I take everything out. Because I label every push rod, you know, rear cylinder, front cylinder, top and bottom, because in order to minimize your wear, if everything's going back together with original parts, you know, like I was mentioning, the top of your lifter is already worn into the bottom of your push rod. So if you make sure that same push rod, the same end of that same push rod is on your lifter, you're minimizing your wear. And basically there won't be any more break-in period, let's say, on those parts. So it's really important to keep all your parts organized during disassembly, and that's what I'll set up tomorrow when we get back in the teardown. So that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions, put it in the comments, or I have my email listed in my profile on there, so you can send me an email if you want to if you have a question or anything, it's whiskeymechanic@gmail.com, and I'll certainly check it. I check that every day. It'll come right on my cell phone. So, uh, anyways, like I said, thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.